What is up, and welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Savage Burbos. We are back in the studio. It feels like home. Last week was an absolute shit show, but we're back. Timmy, it feels like I haven't seen you in a long time because I haven't. It's been like 3 weeks. You weren't on the podcast the last time we were in here. You had the week off. Are you all refreshed?
Yeah, feeling pretty fresh now. So, yeah, appreciate the time off back in reserve grade and learned a few things there, and now I've come back to the table.
It literally.
Whoa!
I mean, actually, the week we had off,
You a crook?
I was very bad. Over the weekend, we had plans to go meet up with Barnesy, who's actually third overall right now. Shout out to Barnesy.
Yeah, shout out to Barnesy.
And it was at the Star, and my last time at the Star was the Vegas party that we had at the start of the year for SuperCoach, and I was just so excited to get back there, watch some footy, but I was so sick. I was in bed all weekend. I literally slept through the footy all Saturday. I was in and out watching the footy. But it was a good week for me that week. I went up to 17th that week, and obviously this week we'll talk about it, but yeah, back to reality this week. Timmy, I was looking at your rank just before I came in here, and you know, you speak as if your rank is so bad. You're in 2K.
Yeah, it's been tough. I've been in your shadow all year, so it's been hard to sort of feel too good about what I'm doing. But fully stoked for you. But yeah, obviously, I have high expectations of myself, and having a bad season last year, I really wanted to get it right this year, and I feel like I've done a little bit better for the most part. But yeah, I dropped. The real bad part was that 2 weeks ago, not doing the turbo captain or not owning him. That dropped me from 2,000 to 2,900th, and that was a big shift. And then this week, I was sort of parish. I scored 14.28, and I was kind of not really thinking about moving up or down. Didn't really think about it. But yeah, I moved up 152 places, so I'm 2,818. Seems like it's going to be tough to move up on a weekly basis if the captains are popular ones, if it's a very common one, which I'm happy to stick with as long as they're, the right guy. But maybe the time to make up some ground might be the final 2 rounds. Yeah,
I have some passionate words about that I want to touch on very shortly. But I've just looked back to my SuperCoach history the year you won, and I remember there was a few weeks where, I was feeling really down about my SuperCoach, and I think I was kind of like you where, because you were in such a good position, the expectations were so high for us that year, for everybody. And I was actually doing really well. Like, I was in the top 1,000 most of the year. And I had a week where I ranked 57th overall for the week. I scored 1,636, and I went up from 3,000 to 1,400, and that was in round 18. 57 people scored more than me that week. Can you tell me who was one of them?
Me?
It was you.
Yeah.
I think you ranked like 5th or 6th for the week.
I looked back on it just recently. I think I had one where I was like in the top 10, and then one I was about 12th. So I didn't get that 2K, which would have been nice.
I remember the week you thought you had it. It was this week, and you were saying, I'm a chance for it. Like, it'd be nice to get the 1K this week. So
I actually needed the money at the time too. I was struggling. Yeah.
But yeah, I think just looking into perspective, like, there are people who create content who are ranked way worse than us. I guess I don't think rankings is everything. I just think the way you go about things certain years will work differently in different years.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think adapting to the times is the way to go. And I feel like maybe 2021, maybe even the year after and the year before, I was kind of losing touch with SuperCoach, and like I'd consistently ranked in the top 1,000th, but I wasn't consistently ranking the top 1,000 after that because the shift in the buys was such a thing, and I struggled to adapt. But I feel like the last 2-3 years I've really got a grasp on it, and the style of play really suits the way I play now. So I guess on the weekend I scored 1368.
Modern day SuperCoacher.
I'm adapting with the times. I scored 1368 on the weekend. Captaincy was on Cleary all week, but then I realised I fucked up and left the VC on Karaz. My plan was to VC Nathan Cleary and then captain Fafita, because I was looking at the stats and Nathan Cleary scored over 100 versus the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Granted, Penrith Panthers are an absolute juggernaut, and he's only played them once since 2021. So I think I looked way too far into the stats there. But at the same time, the thing that pushed me over was WIN Stadium has been a real struggle for teams to go to. I remember Turbo earlier in the year only scored 33 points against the St. George Illawarra
Win
Dragons.
factor can be a thing, yeah.
With the win and the stadium, it just seems like a bad place for players to go. So I was really buying into every single negative.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes you got to overlook that and just think the Panthers, they haven't put together an 80-minute performance in a while, but they're still second. I think they really want to solidify themselves for the run home. And Nathan Cleary, he looked great last week. Like there was no reason he couldn't come out and do what he did on the weekend. I captained Fafita. It felt like it was such a shit thing at the time. He got 90 points, which, I mean, it's not an awful captain. I went down to 20th overall.
Yep.
And it's funny because when lockout happened, I was kind of thinking, oh man, I'm going to lose so many ranks. But then I was looking at scores around me and I'm thinking, I'm not that far off.
No.
Went down to 20th. I would be in 12th if I captained Cleary. I think in order to win, I've just got to make the decisions right consistently from now till the end of the year. Mm-hmm. I don't need to make big plays like that every week. But, but them big plays, they'll come around when they're obvious. It felt like it was a little bit obvious to me at the time, but I just didn't need to do it.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at, and
not too shabby at all. You're going to have a couple of those. Like the year I won, I had Fafita was the guy that I got sucked into on a, and I went
versus Turbo.
Yeah, versus Turbo, and Turbo went 208 or something like that, and I think Fafita went similar around the 90. So yeah, it felt terrible at the time. Was able to claw back. So yeah.
I guess for me, it wasn't even about Fafita being a good captaincy choice. It was about
just not feeling him and thinking it was a 70,
clear.
Maybe a
and
50.
I told people all week, and we did Tipping Point live in our premium group chat, the Canoe Crew.
Yeah.
We did our Tipping Point live, and I went Nathan Cleary under 78. And I just thought, like I was telling people all week that, I don't think Cleary's going to go a massive 100. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he scored 100, but I wasn't feeling that massive one. And I would have really kicked myself if he didn't. So I'm still happy with the process. I'm in 20th overall.
He was out of this world, though. Like, out of this world. So crazy how good he was. Just the try scoring too. Like we see all the other, that try scoring was like, it's not always there. Like he's not always that hungry to get the line. That looked like he's missed some footy and was just desperate to get out there and have his name back sort of in lights.
I don't know if we touched on it last week. The quality of the episode last week, I'm sorry guys. That was, it was pretty bad, but we did what we could. And appreciate the kind messages of people saying, thanks for doing it, even though we knew you couldn't. There was a comment. My favourite comment was, low quality, but high quality. So I really liked that one. Where were we?
Nathan Cleary.
He's obviously been ready for a lot longer than he needed to be. So I think the question with the injury, it's all about, I guess there should be no hesitations. He's the number one traded in player this week once again. I guess he can be our first topic. We don't really need to touch on it though, do we? Get him in.
Just get it. Yeah,
just get
do
him
it.
in.
Yep.
Plays the Newcastle Knights this week, who have been decimated the last 2 weeks, and they're decimated once again. But yeah, we're going to go over... today's going to be a lot different to regular shows. Obviously, there's a lot of people with limited trades, and we're going to try and approach it differently, make it more entertaining for you guys. Still have a lot of information involved, but just change it up a bit. So we're going to go through the top 10 ranked teams and what trades they have left, and then we'll have a discussion on that. We'll go through the team list changes, and we'll also go through the top traded in players of the week. Obviously, we'll do tipping point and captains, but shout out to Drinkwest. Timmy is wearing the shirt on August 10th at 2 p.m. We're holding an event for the SuperCoach head-to-head finals at Drinkwest Brewery in Penrith. It is launching the head-to-head finals for SuperCoach. We have guest such as Tom Sangster, Malachi Watini-Zelezniak, Maverick Geyer, the Cast Patrol, Winston Neville, Mark Barnes, who is third overall, the coach of the NRL All-Stars podcast. We also have Tyson Pedro. He'll be showing up. And Nathan Cleary's a little bit of a chance if he's not going out with Mary for the weekend. So
she'll be at the Olympics, won't she?
I'm not sure if it's done by then.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they haven't given me a 100% answer. But he is a part owner of the brewery, so that's why he's a very good chance. August 10th, 2 p.m. We're giving away lots of merch, lots of cases of beer, lots of free drink vouchers. So come down, have a drink, watch the footy. There is some really good games on the weekend there. Manly play Canberra at 3 p.m., which is going to be... I'm telling you right now, Turbo's my captain that week, so you'll be riding the highs and lows with me there. The Broncos play the Cowboys in the middle game, and then the Bulldogs play the St. George Illawarra Dragons in the last game. We've planned to have the event wrapped up by then, so whether we're keen enough to go do kick-on somewhere else or stay at the brewery, that'll be yet to be decided. But it's going to be a good day out. It's a good day out of footy, and lots of games, prizes to give away. So if you make your way down there, you might be walking away with a few extra little things.
All right.
Are you keen?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, yeah. I haven't really had a good drink since Magic Round, so... Yeah.
Neither have I. I've had drinks, little kinds of drinks here and there. But yeah, okay. So we're going to play a game right now. This is Who Am I? So this person averages 88.5 for the season, and they have scores of 110, 80, 36, 69, 73, 70, 107, 86, 150, 80, and 113. Who am I?
Is it AFB?
No.
I got just sucked in by that last score.
113.
He's not averaging 88 either. So.
No, he's average. Oh, well, this person is 100.
Yeah.
They're averaging 88.5. They didn't play on the weekend.
Oh, okay. That's throwing a spanner in the work. Were they on the bye?
No.
So they're returning from injury.
They will be returning from injury.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe.
Like,
Could be out for the season. Potentially.
Is that a Manu?
No.
Throw it at me.
Latrell Mitchell.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Did them scores, like when you're hearing them scores, were you like, fuck, that's pretty good?
I'm pretty dyslexic, so they were just jumping back and forth. And I tried to pick one of the big ones out and then maybe one of the small ones to try and identify if any of them stood out. But yeah, I was struggling on the run, and then I just stuck to that last score, which seemed closest to AFB's score.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, we'll play a game like that every weekend. Maybe you can throw one at me next week. So team list changes. West Tigers play the Cowboys on Thursday night, and the main team news here for the Tigers, Lockie Galvin is named. Api Coruscant is in at hooker. Lockie Galvin went off with an injury late, scored 41 points. Considering he wasn't involved that much, are you going to play him this week?
Oh, probably not. This would be a week I'll try to find a way not to play him.
Playing at Leichhardt against a team like the Cowboys who do leak points here and there?
Yeah. I don't want to be like I know he can score well, and I know he can score, the 80s to 100s, and he's got them in him. They've been few and far between. I think they're more sort of like a 60. You get to 60, you're happy with it. Anything above that, you're happy with. Anything below that, you're a bit like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like 55-ish you'll take, but then those 40s are a bit awkward. Last week, that's what cost me. Like I had too many... I had a lot of good scores in there, but there was way too many, like 39 Terrell May, 43 Nicara, 41 Galvin. Yeah, just scores like that all just sort of add up. And I know a lot of people have them, but if they haven't played all of them, they've only played one or two of them. Yeah. That's where I'm now missing out on being just a bit off par or winning my head-to-heads and whatever. So without looking at my final 17 too much, I did lock it in at one stage early in the week, but I've reversed trades and it's gone back to last week. I don't think he's going to feature, but I'm not totally off playing him like he's, you know what I mean? off it. But
I think with Manly on the bye for me, I probably will play him because I am holding Olukwatu. I've got Turbo. Yeah. I've also got players like
Garrick.
I've
got Burbo there as well. So you've got 3. I think I've got 3 as well.
Yeah, so I think it makes it hard for me this week to choose my sit or starts properly, but we will go over it when we talk about trades and sit versus starts. For the Cowboys, Ruben Cotter and Taumalolo are out. Blow for you. You got Taumalolo.
Yeah.
Have you been playing him?
Not now, not in normal rounds, but
period,
yeah.
He's been all right, eh?
He's been okay. There's been more, you don't really want to play more weeks than not. But, kind of frustrating. Just kind of thought maybe he could have been handy in the back end, but probably going to have to move him on and upgrade, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing. Valentine Holmes remains at centre, and he's on the top traded in this week. 105 points last week. I'm stoked I held on to him. I just knew he'd get back to form. Plays the Tigers, and I really like that matchup. Running at Solomone Fatape. Defensively, he's had his issues. I'm expecting a field day and might have a captaincy armband on him one way or another. For the Warriors, play the Eels 6 p.m. on Friday night. Chand is back at fullback. Sean Johnson named at halfback. Potential option there if you want someone for the run home. Wade Egan keeps his spot at hooker. We've got Dylan Walker at lock. Fanil Blake and Barnett keep their spot. And for the Parramatta Eels, Blaze Slungy keeps his spot at centre. Dylan Brown at 5'8". And not much else doing elsewhere. Anything that sticks out to you here, I think, actually, Ali Leotau, also named at centre, who is a good...
Can I just pull you up? Because Anton Poser on Twitter is actually just unleashed on podcasters and the pronunciation of that particular player. So I thought we'd flag it, and he has informed us of how to pronounce it. He said it is hard to type in a way that allows you to pronounce it properly, but loosely speaking, it's Leatawa.
Leatawa. Ali Leatawa.
Which is hard. There's a lot of different ways you can go with it, but I just thought we'd flag that and we'll try get it right.
In my defence...
But it's going to be hard to do.
In my defence, I've never said his name before today. So, Ali Leatawa.
I think I was going Leotau. I don't know what I was doing.
I'm just saying it how I've heard it being said. But Leatawa, and forgive me for not getting a name right that of a culture I'm not part of.
The other previous one, Fa'atape, is also pretty tough.
Fa'atape. It's because there's 2 A's.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find the resource to get this correct pronunciation as well.
Well, it's funny because I remember Isaac Tago. We used to call him Tago all the time, and then.
Tungo.
Randomly, it was just Tungo, but then I saw him, he did like a swish video for someone, and he called himself, hi, it's Isaac Tago. And this was after like he changed it to Tungo. So I think you can understand why a lot of us uncultured...
The commentators often go back and forth too, and once a commentator says it, that's the way you sort of get stuck in your head too. But anyways,
that's fine. We'll make an effort. And Leatawa, he's actually a pretty good purchase.
Yeah, well, I was considering him because I was tossing up between him and Jesse Arthurs about 2 weeks ago before Jesse McLean really presented as a locked-in player that will be playing in the side.
Yeah.
And I was watching the junior highlights for Ali Leatawa. Is that right?
Leatawa, yeah. Good job.
So, I was watching that, and, man, I know junior highlights can often be just hard to get a great read on because they're just throwing players off a bit, but wowee, looks so good. And then... didn't really see it the week that I kind of watched the highlights in NRL as like much. I was like, I thought I was going to see a bit more. But then last week he just sort of showed a bit more. Like that, the try assist was very skillful as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's a good downgrade option, but there are so many at the moment. Like there's Casey McLean's still cheaper than him at the moment. But the Warriors have a good draw. But they have a bye in the last round. So I feel like you want someone who can...
Not be one less problem. Like, if you can have another guy that's a backup, which that last round's going to be a headache, you might as well get someone that's going to just present for you.
You want someone that can definitely play for you in the last round because I feel like that's where this purchase is going to come in most handy because,
Yeah.
you know, there might be weeks where you need to play these players. This week's going to be the perfect week. Dylan Brown come out and looked like a future immortal, 73 points on the weekend. I didn't sell him, and I'm very stoked because he looked brilliant.
Yeah, we were in the same boat. We both sold Cody and held Dylan Brown. And
Happy with it?
we're looking at Cody looked good in that game against the Raiders and was pretty good as well. But there's a lot of attack that has to come through it for him to get those scores. I think it might fizzle off a bit. Just the more and more they go on, there's nothing less to play for, and the draw gets tougher, than last week's Raiders game, which was still a toughish game. And Dylan Brown, although he's got tough games, we've flagged that he's pretty good for 50, 60. He's not going to get you that 30. And the last two games are quite good for him. I think he's got Dragons and Tigers.
Yep.
So the last two rounds,
Very
people are just
appealing.
ignoring that and just looking at the next 3 to 4 weeks. Those 2 rounds are crucial.
You know, if he can go through this period scoring 60 to 70 like he did on the weekend, like he got a try assist, he got a line break, but he just looked very likely. And if he plays like that till the end of the season, I think the main reason I did keep him is because Jason Riles is overlooking the club now. He's not in that role.
They've
at
got
the
something
moment.
to play for still a bit.
Whereas you know, Cody Walker, there's, you know, they know Wayne Bennett. I know they do. They're actually in a very similar situation, but I feel like because they don't know the coach, I think there's more.
100%. I know where you're going with it for sure. Yep.
All right, moving on to the 8 p.m. Friday game, which is the Roosters versus the Dolphins. This is played in Perth, so just to note, if you're looking at weather and considering captain choices or whatever, this is actually like a 5 p.m. game, so it'll still be daylight when this happens. So there's not much here, but Manu's back.
Nice. I don't have him, but it's something to think about because my centre wing's pretty weak. I'd like to move on it this week, but I don't think I can do it. We'll get to that in trades, but yeah, there's some nice options. There's that sort of, you got your Carraz, you've got Joey Manu presenting there. There's one other bloke I don't have that I've sort of been
Val
on my
Holmes?
mind. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because he's come out of my side over the Origin period. But then I look at Val Holmes. I'm sorry to get too off topic because we're on this game, but Val Holmes for me, great matchup this week, and probably will still go well in the other games. But it's just this one matchup that looks.
Yeah.
So I was pretty close to just bringing him in because I think he's going to have a blinder. I think he's going to be a 100 plus this week.
Yeah, I think with Val Holmes, it's this week, and then I don't think you're going to get much upside towards the end of the year.
You'll take the other
120
scores.
plus. Yeah, for sure. But then he also has a bye.
Yeah, there's enough reason to not do it. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm stoked to have Val Holmes, but Manu this week, he has a break even of 94, 624k, and then has a bye next week. So obviously, probably wouldn't jump on him this week. Let him get through the game, have a look, and then his draw leading into the head-to-head finals is so good. But Joey Manu, getting him for 590k for the head-to-head finals, is that something you'd consider doing, even though you've got an abundance of Roosters?
Well, once you get past that bye, it feels a lot safer, right? So if you're not getting him this week and just wait till, a couple of weeks later. But the thing I'm a little bit concerned about in getting too many Roosters, I've already got a few, is if the Roosters get to a point approaching round 27 where they're not going to have one or two locked up. That's probably going to be Storm and Panthers. But they might know where they're at, and they might be in a position where, even if we lose, we're still going to be third, or if we lose, worst case scenario, we're going to be fourth, which they might be, whatever. So
there's a good chance they rest in round 26 as well, because round 27 they play the Rabbitohs, and that's usually a pretty big clash. And I think losing momentum right before the finals is not ideal.
So that's the only reason I would be worried about having too many. I wouldn't be worried about having too many can they all get points while you've got, 5, 6 Roosters because they're going so well. Of course, they'll, all probably still rack up well. But yeah, from that resting point of view, that scares me. But I might look to offload, I'm probably not going to now, but Terrell May was someone I was considering offloading this week, but I think I'm going to offload Lolo and spend money and have Terrell May as my backup guy, because then Yeah, I'll go into that later, though. It's getting too off topic. But
yeah, because that is a topic we do need to discuss. Angus Crichton, 730k with 117 break even, scored 48 on the weekend.
Great when you don't own him, because I was panicking that he was going to score 80 at least every game. He's looking so great.
But 117 break even this week. Hopefully he can do something similar this week and then reassess the week after. Are you planning to get him in for that head-to-head?
Well, I'd been planning to get him in, but now that I'd been confident with my front row, and now I'm not so confident with my front row. So that shifted I think I might need, and I'm pretty stacked in second row. So I think my weakness is front rows. I think that's where I need to plug something in. So it might mean not getting Angus, or if I do get him, it might be the last couple of rounds sort of thing with one of my 3 to 2 trades sort of thing.
Would that be like a straight swap for a Nickera or something?
I'd try not to, no. I'd be trying to upgrade potentially like KPP if I somehow can, it depends. It'd be, the way I'm looking at it, I could potentially, I've got 7 trades. I could go down to 5 trades this week, and if I needing to get KP next week, if I go down to 5 trades, I'm going to also spend my money, which means I'd need to free up more money, which means I'd then have 3 trades after getting KP for round 23. So there'd be 4 rounds with 3 trades. That scares me.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine if you've got KP and then you've got Crichton. And
that won't include Crichton.
Oh, no, right. So you'll have to create money and then you'll be down to 1. Is that? What
I could probably free up the money that I free up in getting Kalen Ponga in round 23. If I do use 2 trades this week, I would free up enough to also
to do it in 1 trade. So you have 2 trades for the run home.
Yeah, okay. But still. Yeah, I'm kind of more of a passive thing. We'll get to trades a bit more without trying to move on too much, but I don't want to lose my head to heads, and I don't want to fall, and I want to get as far as I head in overall. But I'm just still so scared of the carnage that it could just leave me that decimated that I drop in ranks and just get hammered in any head to head. So I'm like, part of me is like thinking, do I need to just try and take a bit of luck and back the guys that I'm not that confident in? Like a guy like Zarko. I fucking hate having him in my side at the moment, but I'm like, maybe if I don't upgrade him and just play him and just fingers crossed he scores, that might be the better play. Yeah,
and I think sometimes you look at your side on paper and then you want to feel good about your side, and like players like Zarko don't make you feel good at the moment, but they're still like
a winger who kicks goals.
They can still come out and score good. Yeah. Like I remember there was a week I didn't feel great about my side because Turbo was in it playing the Penrith Panthers. I'm pretty sure I traded Turbo to, I think it was Drinkwater. Drinkwater scored like 70 points and Turbo scored 111 versus the Panthers. So like things can go your way. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the way I'm going to play things from here till maybe round 25. Yeah. I'll just the warm bodies are gold at this time of year.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling too. I think you've got to put a little bit more trust, and I think that's for everyone that it's at home sitting there wanting to do a real sideways sort of like. There's plenty of them out there. Like I get the ones like if a Terrell May to a Haas or something like that, who's like probably going to gap at least 30 points at least most weeks unless May's minutes increase, stuff like that. But when you're just banking on like an 80-minute winger versus an 80-minute winger, I know that like one might have a way better draw, like or whatever, but I think you've kind of, depending, like if you've got 3 trades, you've kind of just got to lay in the bed you've made, go with the guy you've picked earlier on. Because, for me last year, I just kind of got a little bit aggressive and traded hard. And that's when I just dropped from about like where I am now, went to 13,500 just with carnage in the last 2 rounds. I just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that last year, and that was
like embarrassing.
It was brutal. And for me, Kalen Ponga ruined my season, but it was also the last 2 weeks didn't help because it was so carnage, and I'm pretty sure most people had like 14 players. It was that bad.
So it's a bit of both, right? If you don't get a guy that's going to actually just go ton, it could make you lose all your head-to-heads.
Yeah, like Nathan Cleary this week.
Yeah.
If you don't have him, that's a trade
you
should
just
look
have
at
to
that.
do, yeah.
Look at that, and don't think you're losing a trade. Just think you're gaining someone who's gonna absolutely hurt you. And I think James Tedesco's been the exact guy that we've talked about for the last few weeks. 130 again on the weekend. If you didn't have him, not many fullbacks scored that well on the weekend. So he was the guy.
Wow, that first half,
yeah,
we should have kept going there.
Yeah, someone did the maths, and apparently after, I think it was like 12 minutes or something, he was on a certain score, and they did the maths, and he should have ended up on 520 points or something if he kept that up. So scary, because I reckon one day something like that could happen. Like, maybe not 500, but like I can see a 300 happening
like a send-off where it gets down to 12, and then the team's already terrible, and they're already in the wrong headspace, and they just keep dropping the ball and giving away penalties, and it's just bang, 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 bang,
For sure. The Titans play the Broncos at 3 p.m. on Saturday at Seabus. Campbell in at 6, Keeney at fullback still. AJ Brimson is on the bench there for Keeney owners. On the other side of the park, Haas, Piakura, not much doing there, but Reece Walsh seems like a decent option at Seabus. I'll probably be waiting for Ponga till next week. Payne Haas is a big subject this week, but we'll talk about him after team list. The Storm play the Dragons, 5:30 at Amy Park. Jack Howarth keeps his spot. Munster back at 5'8", 600k. Very tempting there if you got a 5'8" injury. Cody Walker is named, so he was a little bit injured. Tyron Wishart moves to the bench. No Joe Chan because he's still suspended. Zach Lomax is back on the wing, played fullback on the weekend for 69 points. I think Zach Lomax is someone to keep an eye out for the end of the year. 69 points on the weekend. He's got a big break even at the moment. But 730k, 140 break even. Plays the Melbourne Storm this week. Then he plays the Dogs. But then he plays the Gold Coast Titans, the Sharks, Parramatta, and Canberra in the last 4 weeks. So I think he's also someone you can mark as a purchase in a couple of weeks. I think maybe the Dragons start throwing the ball around.
There's plenty of teams with like good trade numbers out there, like 8, 10 plus. So yeah.
I think I could do Brian Kelly to him, because Brian Kelly's draw toughens up a little bit. I don't
When would you look at doing that?
Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on. So Brian Kelly, 588k.
Have you got any other plans?
I do. I'll tell you about them very shortly. But he plays the Sharks, then the Dragons. So the next 2 weeks he's not urgent, but then he plays the Roosters, the Knights, and then Penrith in the last round. So maybe can hold on to him because if Penrith rest all their players in the last round, then could be good. 7:30 on Saturday night, PointsBet Stadium. The Sharks play the Rabbitohs. Will Kennedy is back. Ronaldo Mulitalo is out for 3 to 4 weeks with a leg injury. Samuel Stonestreet goes onto the wing. Kale Iro absolutely killing it. Still got him?
Oh yeah.
Are you playing him? Mm-hmm. Very good. Cody Walker keeps his spot, and AJ is gone. Fletcher Myers on the wing. That's a good name. Cameron Murray returns at back row. Anything sticking out to you here?
Yeah, not particularly. I think it's I'd be playing Earl week in, week out.
Yeah.
I know sometimes you look at it and go, he's got the 50. I think the upside. He's finding the line now. I think it's there, especially with the jaw, because it's just the jaw wasn't there as much as before, and it's really opened up now.
Yeah, they got a good draw leading into the back end, so I think he's a good option. Saturday, 2 p.m, Penrith play the Knights. Isaiah Yongi gets a fullback spot for the Panthers. I think he's only fullback only, but...
yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just fullback only, so that's a bit disappointing. He would have been a nice purchase. Nathan Cleary keeps his spot for the Knights. Kalen Ponga fullback. Fletcher Sharp on the wing. Dylan Lucas in the centres. Phoenix Crossland halfback. Jackson Hastings dropped.
Yeah, well, he's gone. he's done. He might have been his last game for the club. He's already been signed by an English.
Oh, has he?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember which club it was. I was listening to it on SEN this morning.
Right.
So it's already done and dusted.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's on the extended. Kai Pearce-Paul keeps his spot. I've still got Kai Pearce-Paul with the Manly players out this week. I'm considering playing him.
Yeah, might too. He might be one that features, but I've got a feeling he didn't as well again in my side.
He didn't?
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
We'll have a look at it for start when we look at our side. And then the last game on Sunday, the Bulldogs play the Raiders. Crichton is back, so is Addo-Carr. So Karaz goes back to his right wing spot. Sam Hughes starts again. And for the Canberra Raiders, not many changes there. Tom Starling still playing big minutes, 450k. He looks like a great pickup a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, well done to Mikey. And let's just acknowledge Mikey while we're here. We're talking before about, your season, you're going well. And, I'm in 2,800 and, you're sort of in your shadow this season. I guess he's a perfect example of that. He's in, I think, close to top 100 now.
200th, yeah.
200th, so, which is amazing. Like, if you weren't in the picture right now, you know what I mean? Like,
I think also Barnesy, the fact Barnesy's doing well.
Yeah.
Just means there's so many people in front of him, but
steal the spotlight a little. But yeah, let's put the spotlight on Mikey, who's killing it.
200th, and that's a big finish for him because he never usually finishes that high.
He's always around the top 1,000.
Always around the top 1,000, but never kind of pushes on to that top, 200, 100.
I think he gets in the past. He got caught up with his middies. He gets a bit too many middies, but I think he's on the ball this year. So.
Yeah, there was one year he was coming like 27th at one point. And I think he finished like 800th that year, but he's got it in him. He's got it in him, let's just say that. He's very low on trades as well. But that's it for the team list. We'll talk about our hot topics going into it, but we want to go through the top 10 traded in. I've got it up on my phone here. We've got the stats for the top 10 and what trades they have left and what trades they did last week. So first, overall, there's 5 trades left. Last week, they got Angus and Cleary in for Galvin and Fainu. Second has 1 trade. Last week, they got Laurie in and Haas. And they traded out Edwards and KPP. So that is such a sting.
That's Tandy's late mail.
Tandy's late mail.
Yeah, well, I'll shout out the names for you because I think you've only got the numbers. Yeah,
Yep.
Let's give him a little bit of a... It's nice to hear your name if they are listening.
A couple of weeks ago, a lot of people were saying he's the guy to look out for because his depth was crazy.
Yeah.
1 trade left, and he got in Laurie. Have you seen his team? Does he have Ronaldo, or does he have...
I can bring it up for you real quickly. Yep. And he does not have Ronaldo, doesn't have AJ or anything like that.
So he's got no injuries at the moment, but he's got Laurie.
Yeah. Looking pretty good outside of that.
Right, so
except for just Watson and Humphries as his hooker. That's a bit of an awkward thing. He's going to have
Connor Watson.
Yeah, Connor Watson.
I think that's fine.
There's that 1 week he'll cop the AA or whatever. But
that's fine. That's fine for sure. 3, Barnesy. Cleary in last week. Dylan Brown out. Would have gone Cody Walker out myself if I was him, but
the Barnstormers.
He's gone Cody Walker in. 4th overall has 2 trades left and no trades used in round 21. So I think he knows where he's at.
John, the hindsights.
Very good. 5th overall has 4 trades. He got RTS in for Will Price.
That's Banksy. Banksy. The Bossies Franks.
7th overall has 4 trades left. No trades used in round 21.
Oh, you're up to 7th, are you?
Yep.
Oh, I might have skipped one. There you go. That's Slippery Martin.
8th overall, Miles Martin and Cleary in, and Gus for Plath, Brown, and May.
Oh, Team Extreme, yeah, they got a lot of trades, this team.
It doesn't say how many trades they have left here.
Oh, I remember when I looked it up last week, it was, let me have a quick look. I think it was in the 11. It was, so you used 3 last week.
Yep.
Team Extreme had 10, so they've got 7 now.
Okay, so they're in quite a good spot.
Yeah.
Team Extreme, so they had 10. 9th has 5 overall.
The Rooster Booster, Jeanette.
Yeah, 9th has 5 overall. 10th has 8. 11th has 2. 12 has 5. 13th has 7. 14th has 0. 15th has 5. Actually, no, these are old numbers.
Yeah.
But
so just listen to the first top to 10. That one that counted. Yeah.
Anyway, I think just by going over that, everyone's low on trades.
Some are in better spots than others. Yeah.
But I think the play, if you were me, Timmy, what would you be doing? I know what my plan is.
What your goal is like? Is your goal is win and whatever
The goal is to win. I think.
Like you could consolidate and just go. Let's just try get certain we get top 10. Stamp that down for your history.
Yeah.
2024, 10th. Top 10th place. You got that nice little thing you can stick under your Instagram or whatever into your intros and stuff. And it's a nice number. And I don't think there's a tracksuit this year. A lot of people are playing for. I want to get the top 11 tracksuit. I don't think there's a tracksuit.
There could be a green tracksuit, SuperCoach.
A tab one. That'd be cool.
That would be.
Or Picklebet. Whichever one you prefer.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, the goal is to win. I'm only 300 points off
of
first.
course. So if you don't if you don't really care, So I don't think going nuts with trades and just making trades is like that's the thing to do. I think your best thing is just to
just hold them for the last few weeks.
Keep them up your sleeve.
See, something will present itself.
Your best play, I think, is just getting the captain right every week, like picking the right captain who's most like percentage-wise likely to land on that big one. Go on the percentage play, but taking risky plays on the VC. So. Go on guys that no one else is probably going to go, like a weird centre winger that just if like a Tracy, like
Val Holmes this week.
Something like that. People will go him. He'll be popular VC, but still, something like that, something a bit different where if other people are getting sucked into Teddy and Cleary or something like that, that's probably your way to go. You land on that, you get that big, 150 plus 1 week and then hope that those other ones that people land on don't go. I reckon that's your best.
I think this year is going to be hard because it's going to rotate between Teddy, Cleary, and Turbo, or whoever the second fullback is.
The Pong Dog, yeah.
The Pong Dog. I think it's just going to rotate through them. And I remember the year you won, and the round I'm talking about where I ranked 57th for the round. Do you know who we both captained that week?
Well, nah. Round 18.
Who did we captain that week?
So it's a bye round, right?
It wasn't a bye round. It was a full week.
Oh, okay. Throw it at me.
Adam Dewey.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him actually coming into the side late too.
Yes. Oh, actually having a look at that, Adam Dewey's out. The team list, I didn't even realise that. He's been good for them as well. But, so we captained Adam Dewey that week. He scored 154 against the Broncos, and he was by far like one of the best captain options of the week.
Yeah.
And I think with a guy like him, you've just got to. A lot of people at the time didn't think he had that ceiling, so I think it's just about going with gut.
Trust your gut. Follow seeing a little bit of the form that was just he's bubbling away, and then the right matchup that just anything could happen.
The Broncos were going like a shotted team, so I think that week it was such a good play because it was like I was not expecting 150 off him. And he scored 150, and we absolutely dominated because of it. All right, one of the biggest topics of the week, Terrell May. 4 trades left for myself. I can go Terrell May to Payne Haas.
So what's your front row situation at the moment? Because I think that's important to...
Terrell May and Adam Fanil-Blake. Yep. Sam Hughes is my backup.
And what's the fourth guy?
Nuff.
Okay, yeah.
I nuffed out Liam Henry, so I was able to make moves.
He would have been kind of handy-ish. I guess he's kind of dropped back off-ish again, though, hasn't he?
Liam Henry?
Yeah.
I would have had to create cash anyway.
You needed it, yeah.
And I think that was the best spot to do it because Henry, I wasn't going to play week in, week out. So I can go to Payne Haas, or I can go to Joe Tapine, who is 50K less, doesn't have a bye, and I've done the maths. Joe Tapine, if he scores 70 every week from here on out, he's playing 55 minutes at the moment. That's 490 points from now till the end of the season. If Payne Haas plays every week and misses out on the bye, that's 480 points plus the 30 points that Sam Hughes will get me the week that Haas is on the bye. That's 510. So
You're better off going if you by your calculations, the Haas route.
by the calculations, I'm better off going the Haas route, but it also cost me 50k extra, which could cost me getting
50k.
50k
Yeah.
and Angus Crichton or upgrading Wade Egan. I don't know if I need to upgrade Wade Egan or once again, warm bodies is always a good
Terrell
thing.
May's it's like with Linu coming back from Origin, they've just you're now, congratulations, this is your spot now. You've deserved it. You're the big dog, and I just reckon that he's mad. I know he can't suck for him to always be an impact guy off the bench, but I just reckon he's better coming off the bench, and Terrell May just, for me, I think it's a better starter. I wonder whether they'll shift that back a bit. So that's why I'm probably not going to sell Terrell May, because if I did sell Terrell May to Payne Haas in my situation, when's the buy? Sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around one of them.
Their buy is
25,
next week,
around 25. These are the Payne Haas.
No, 24.
Around 24. So that's the second week of finals, and then that week I'd be forced into playing Sam Hughes. So if I sold Terrell May, so I'm not really keen on that for second week of finals. You know what I mean? Like make or break. I feel like that's the thing that'll cost me getting over. Even if I get my captain right, my opponent probably got their captain right as well. So that's my weakness, and I just think I'd probably have to just upgrade my third guy. So that's the way I'm probably going to go with it. It sucks because it's going to spend about 250, 300k.
So I've done the maths. If you hold Terrell May and he gets 40 for the rest of the year, and then Sam Hughes' 30 plugs in the week that he has the bye, that's 270 points. That's 200 points less than what these other guys are going to get you.
But I don't reckon he averages 40. I reckon he probably averages a bit better, don't you?
But this is worst case Terrell May versus best case for Payne Haas.
True.
And 200 points.
What were you calculating his average at as a best case?
For who?
Payne Haas.
80.
80, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
And there's a good chance. There's a good chance he could average 65, which is still good. 65, 70.
I wonder if there's a chance where he just rips and tears. I remember there was a couple of games last year in the back end of the season where they kind of needed the win, and I think they were behind, and he just came off the bench and was tackle busting, line breaking, try assisting, from the 30. You know what I mean? Just going off his head, and I still think he's got that in him. That's why I'm looking at someone. I'm not going AFB because I love his try scoring ability in those tons, but there is those 30s, 40s that can creep in there when they, doesn't do it in a row. And Payne Haas is so consistent. For me, Tapine's a bit vanilla, so I'd spend the 50k if I were you. I'd go Payne Haas. He's got a bit more to...
He's Payne Haas's last, since round 12. 100 points in round 12, 80 minutes. 55 in round 14, 51 minutes. 99 in round 15, 60 minutes. 69 in round 18, 71 minutes. 57 in round 20, that was 60 minutes. That was backing up from Origin. And then on the weekend, 80 in 71 minutes. And unlike last year, I don't think there's any risk of him resting just because of the position the Broncos in. If anything, they might not play him 80 minutes because they are out of contention. There's no need to do that. But 32 points in tackles on the weekend, 12 points in tackle bus, which is 44 points, 12 points in offloads, which is 56, and then 26 points in runs. It's pure base and base attack, and I think I feel like the try will come by the end of the year, whether he scores only once or twice. But then I'm looking at Tapine, 50k less. I'll have 70k in the bank if I get Haas. And I'll have 3 trades left with no Angus Crichton, no gun hooker. So that's the only reason I'm kind of But
I reckon if you're gonna make a trade there, get the best one.
Yeah, you're right.
Get the best one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although Tapine's got when he's good, and he can be elite too. You know what I mean? He can get popping the ball out.
But he just doesn't have the bye, and he's the cheaper
Yeah, I get
player.
that, but even by your calculations, you've worked out that Payne Haas is probably still better off for you.
Yeah.
And the only reason that's going to hurt you is from a head-to-head point of view, and if you don't really care too much,
Yeah.
you've maybe only got a $50 head-to-head that you bought into. It's only just sitting there because for the fun of it for the season. You're not really that invested into it.
Crichton, can you go without him? I think
some people are going to have to. I don't think everyone can have him.
I think there's a chance I probably need to hold off till maybe round 25 to get him in.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I wouldn't be getting him now. I wouldn't get him this weekend, then the bye.
Or what about like Elias Katoa to him in round 26? Or is that too late? Because
it could be too late to not get enough of goodness out of him. Like if he has gone ton. But the thing is, I'm pretty confident with a lot of these other guys that we've got in these positions too. I know like they're gonna have off weeks, like Nicaragua with a 40 on the weekend there, but for the most part, they're doing the job. He'd be a nice addition, but I don't reckon with 4 trades left. That's way too sideways to make that trade early on, like now this far out. That's a really attacking play, and you're really backing that. If say you did say Eli Katoa or Nicaragua, that he'd need to score. He'd need to score at least 30, 20 points.
I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't do it now. It'd be more like towards the end.
But then then you said
it's not worth it because you might have already missed
you might as well
ones.
keep those 2 up your sleeve for then the carnage of the final round to field of 17.
So May to Haas, you reckon I should do it?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Because I'm not sure whether I should do it, and I've got 7 trades, and I care about my head overall still, and I still care about my head-to-head. So I'm sort of more doing it from a head-to-head point of view. I think. I think that's why I'm doing it, but
I just think Terrell May, if he keeps he scored 41 on the weekend, but he's been coming off the bench. He's been scoring. He's been coming off the bench and scoring 28, so he could go even worse than that. 41. Kind of got away lucky there.
Yeah, maybe you have to do it. It feels gross.
It feels like he could come out and score a big score on the run home at some point still. But yeah, I'm
especially because I reckon that they might. There's a thing of Jared. Yeah.
Well, Jared still comes back. They've got 4 forwards on the bench at the moment. Tupanua's on the bench, so he'll eat into some minutes.
I think he kind of goes back to a better role though for a couple of games.
Yeah.
At least 2 games, he'll be the starting prop. I think
that's why I'm so torn about it, because I really feel like I don't want to make I think at this point of the year, I've just said to myself, warm bodies are gold. If they're good to go, they're healthy, then don't trade them, because if it's sideways. But
the thing is though, when you look at him though, and you look at his situation, there's not much hope in there. You're really banking on an injury in that game for him to then have to go from that 28-45 sort of score to a good score.
Yeah.
So that is a bit nerve-wracking. And it doesn't feel that, because Payne Haas is capped at about a ton. He's not really going to go above that. It kind of feels. But then again, if it's a difference between if he's going to score, say, 40 points and Payne Haas is going to score 80, and it is 40 points every week, it's important to do that.
40 times 7, that's 210 by the end of the year. That's 210 points that, if I end up not winning SuperCoach by less than that, which 210 points, if I was 210 points higher than what I am now, I'd be second or third.
Wow. Yeah. So also.
So it's not a lot. It's not a small amount of points to just look past.
Think about it from this point of view. Say you've got the 2 best fullbacks, I reckon, at the moment.
Yep.
Turbo and Ponga. Say you didn't.
Teddy.
Teddy. Yep. Say you had. Say you didn't have Teddy and Turbo, and you had Pappy, right? But then you're telling yourself, I know Turbo's 40-point better player. That's what you tell yourself. You'd have to make that trade at fullback. And if it's only 40 points you're going to make there, what's the
40
difference?
40 is a lot of points.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's the same, whether you take it at fullback or whether you take it there. So if like, say Pappy was averaging 80, but you were like, I know Turbo's good for 120, you'd be like, I can't just keep taking 80 when that 120's there. So if that 40's there at prop in May and there's an 80 there and the 40-point difference in Haas, maybe you do just have to take it.
I'm leaning towards doing it. I think Terrell May is someone who is going to hurt me week in, week out, and I'm not going to feel great about it. And I know we just said, like, sometimes if they're playing, just because you don't feel good about it doesn't mean you have to trade them.
There is the other factor that you did bring up, is that if they do lose this weekend or lose next weekend against the Cowboys, they probably are done. And then maybe it's not... I've heard people saying, why would they want to, why would they play Payne Haas big minutes with the risk of injuring him and not being able to play next year or whatever? But they still want to compete, so they still want to...
Kevy Walters is a bit of a shit coach, in my opinion, and I think he'll just play in big minutes anyway.
Yeah, but there's the other factor of not just like... there's 2 points. They want to compete, so they want to probably, even if they're not going to be top 8, they don't want to completely embarrass themselves and lose more games than they win on the way out, sort of thing either. And there's also the factor of... what's my other factor? I'll come back to it, but it's a big one.
Terrell May, that his role will get worse by...
They may just want to... Not from just a Payne Haas point of view, this is what it was, that they may just want to get more minutes into the less experienced guys. Like, let's just get more minutes into Willison and other blokes for next year, just so they're now... from that point of view.
I don't think Kevy's a coach like that. I think he's more reactive than proactive. I think what he'll do is want to save face as much.
I'm not too worried about it either. I'm pretty set on bringing him in. So
yeah, so I think I'll get him in. I think just for me, like, that sorts out a position the front row. Terrell May, he's not going to be a worry for me. My next worry is Wade Egan up the front. I think maybe because of the hooker position, he's someone I can kind of leave there. On the weekend, he scored 28, which was pretty low score for him. So maybe that was just a score. But he has a buy in round 27, so he's someone I have to worry about. But if I make the trade with Haas, then it means...
How much is he?
Who?
Wade Egan.
460.
It's an awkward thing, and it's very sideways, but I think Brayley might become a bit more relevant now.
Which Brayley?
My one, the
Jaden.
Yeah, just because I think Crossland's going... Did Crossland get named there?
Nah, I wouldn't do that.
No. But that's very sideways, 400k, 400k. But if you're stuck...
I've been looking at heaps of different options, but I feel like this is a situation where I'm going too sideways. Like, if I'm going Wade Egan to... Blake Brayley was someone I was looking at who's only 50k more, which I can afford to do.
Feels like boring trades. You wish you could just really pounce with bigger positions.
I don't need to do a trade like that.
But their weaknesses, you kind of maybe do have to deal with them, even though it's a boring upgrade that, you're only going to go to a guy that's going to start, that will score your 70s, but if that takes away the 30, 40s on a weekly basis.
It's true. So if I did it, I'd be able to get Blake Brayley. I can nearly get Reece Robson, to be honest. But he has a buy as well. I just regret the trade, to be honest, because I did Reece, but it banked a lot of cash for me as well, which was also like, I don't regret any trades I do, because the reason I did these trades was to get certain players in. For hooker, I've got 530k, so I am 8k short of going Reece Robson, which sucks.
Maybe you just deal with one of your problems this week and hope your other problem doesn't become maybe it is solved next week. Like maybe it starts, looking better.
Egan plays Parramatta at home, so it's a pretty good matchup. So I'm better off just holding.
Might restore your faith in him or whatever after another game.
For sure. There was a bit of chat there. We've got a few other talking points. I just want you to say whether you think this person is worth not wasting a trade on, but using a trade at this time of year, even if you're going sideways to get in. So, Jacob Carraz.
I think if he's the guy that you want in your centre wing, like if you're going to go, like I think I need one more. I'm just tossing up it. I'll give him a tick for sure. Yeah.
Well, limited trades. I prioritise getting him in the other week.
Yeah.
And 80 and 120.
Mad base, even when he's not scoring,
For sure.
and when he does, it's easy stuff.
And you feel
busting.
You feel great about him. Val Holmes, 615k.
Yeah, more of a maybe. I think the price point's nice though, like 615k compared to Carrazzo. I think he's about 720. And the matchup this week is so good. I reckon if you need a big score this weekend to make your head-to-head finals.
Yeah.
He might be a guy
for sure.
Yeah, if you're throwing you
Agreed.
Needed to throw it to you, that's your guy.
And we've seen the scoreline between these two teams in the past as
Yeah.
well. Like they've been some big.
Could be kicking 1,000 goals. So, but if you're head to head and if you're overall and you're limited on trades, he's probably not the guy. I reckon I'd lean more towards the Carrazzo. I know the goal kicking's nice insurance, but I just feel like there might be a couple more of those 50s, 60s. Which is a bit like my Zarko-y sort of guy, which you take, but when other blokes like, your guy, you got Carraz there putting up tons or stuff like that.
Do you have Carraz?
Nah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cameron Munster, 600k, 29k to go Lockie Galvin to Cameron Munster. Does have 149 break even.
Gonna say no, I think, on this one, just because... comments he kind of made was like he said something along the lines of the boys are going really well this year. I don't need to come in here and sort of try and, outshine anyone or do anything like that. I just need to come in and play a role and not sort of into. I can't remember word for word, but that was the gist of, whether that's just throwaway comments that just to allow him to not have big expectation on his return. You know what I mean, or his performance or whatever. That could just be that. But, yeah, with the resting in round 26, that's going to be annoying.
Yep.
You probably then, if he does rest in round 26, if they do mass rest, which is the word on the street, the Storm are resting in round 26, you might then trade him out, use one of your last two trades to trade him out to get someone else in, right? You might. And then you don't have trades then... because that might be your head-to-head grand final too. So depending on which way you're playing, if you're sort of like me and you're playing overall and head-to-head, and you could end up trading him out to have someone if you're around 26, and then you don't have any trades for around 27. Then there's carnage. I reckon maybe put the faith in the blokes you got, depending on how depleted you are. Like
Lockie Galvin's draw over the last couple of weeks is very good too, and I think Cameron Munster.
Pelvis as well.
He needs to get surgery at the end of the season for his hip pointer, so he's playing injured as it is. So
is it a pelvis or a groin or what is it?
It's a groin, but I think the hip's giving him issues, so he needs to get surgery on his hip or something. So
I reckon there's a couple of red flags there, and
it's also like he's not the central part of their attack all the time.
But back your gut on it. If you were happy enough with what you saw in return and think, geez, the Storm are red hot.
Right too.
He did. And if you're thinking the Storm are a red hot side at the moment and, geez, that could be a way I could get ahead at 5'8". Like, I've got Jaden Campbell and I'm hoping he could be my little way to get away ahead at 5'8" there when I shift him to 5'8". Still got him at fullback and waiting for Ponga in a couple of weeks.
Next week,
yeah.
Yeah,
couple of weeks still.
So Ponga's on there too. He's got a high break even, 600...
Ponga, yes, but Ponga not this week.
686k, 106 break even, playing the Penrith Panthers at home next week. I'd be surprised if he wasn't the number one traded in next week.
Yeah, probably. I mean, not everyone's going to be able to do it because they're going to be lower on trades and already locked into their guys as well, who they've got. But he'll probably still be one of the number one trade-ins for sure.
All right, the tipping point. Trades. We'll go over that. Just Haas.
Yeah, well, my centre, I'm probably going to go Lolo to him. That'll give me May, Curran, and Haas. And so I'll be playing Curran and Haas week in, week out, and then May's my backup guy, which I think's decent. It's just annoying, though, the amount of money he's got there. A part of me is tempted to just sell him and then have Hughes as my backup guy. But then I'm kind of like, I don't really want to play Hughes on the week that
it might be knockout for you.
Yeah, and if May represents a little bit and is good enough, he's going to be better than Hughes anyway, I think. So, yeah, I'm going to do that, I think. It's going to chew up a bit of my money. I've got 374K in the bank. I could make a second trade, and that second trade that I could actually afford to do would be, it's very luxurious, so I'm not going to do it, is Izarko to Val Holmes, and that leaves me pretty much zero cash. But then next week, I'll have 5 trades left and need to bring in Kalen Ponga, and I won't be able to do that in one trade. So if I leave this cash in now...
I think you could do it, to be honest. Like, if it sets up your side better for the run home, then...
But then again, I would rather Carraz than Val Holmes, and I can't afford Val Holmes. I can't afford Carraz this week. The only way I could afford to get a centre wing this week would be if I sold Izarko, and that just feels a bit...
So maybe you just want to wait and...
Yeah, I think I'll just do the one trade, let it play out.
I think that's a good play.
Yeah.
I had another kind of option that I was considering. Instead of going to Haas from May, I was considering going to Josh Curran. Like, it's safe. It doesn't really, like...
There's a little bit of... What was that injury? MCL last week? He did...
Who?
Curran did an MCL.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so he's playing with a bit of a niggle at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
I looked at his minutes prior to the injury-affected weeks, and he's only getting 50 minutes. It's not great, but a lot of people at the top have Curran, so just...
Well, now that... What about... I think it might be a bit more. I don't know how much that injury affected his minutes last week there. And then the week prior, he nearly played 80 minutes.
Yeah.
With Max King being out. So maybe, but the injury thing, well, I'd be then favouring the other blokes.
But he's 50K less than Tapine is. It would allow me to go Kai Pearce-Paul to someone I'm very keen on, Isaiah Yeo. Isaiah Yeo has bottomed out at 539K, and I just think having someone from the Panthers side who just he scored 52 points in tackles on the weekend, 593K, and I just feel like towards the end of the year there's going to be attacking stats come his way. This is how he started the season: 67, 94, 69, 72, 79, 90, 55, 79, 76, 81, 60, 73, 63, 49, 56. So over the last couple of weeks, backing up from Origin, obviously his scores have been affected, but he plays 80 every week. Plays the Newcastle Knights this week. Can bank on 70 points. Any attacking stats, 90 plus.
Well, look, the part of me that
and like, if I do that, I'll be getting him instead of Crichton, which I feel like Isaiah Yeo could probably nearly average what Crichton does for the run home.
He could, but he's not scary.
Yes, but he also plays every game from now till the end of the year. And if he averages 80 for the run home and Crichton averages 90, then I win that trade.
Yeah, but then again, like if you're trying to win SuperCoach, you need to make the attacking upside play. There's no upside there.
But there is. Like,
no, but Crichton can be going.
He gets one try assist, 90 points. Like, it's just not exciting because the 90 points isn't 2 tries. Like, Angus scores 2 try assists and gets 90.
Yeah, but go look at Isaiah Yeo's. There's no fluctuation between his scores. For the most part of the year, he was scoring exactly the same score every week. That was in the early part of the year. I think it was nearly like just always like 1 or 2 points off each other. I don't think he's a shit SuperCoach option. I just think this time of year, if you're trying to win SuperCoach, you got to go with like killer upside, like any, you know what I mean? Like Angus Crichton, who could just score a couple of tries in a. He's never scoring a couple of tries.
So I get that. Angus Crichton, for the year, he peaked at 79.4 average. Isaiah Yeo peaked at 80.4. Granted, Crichton's first 2 games were 28 and 18, so I think Crichton obviously averages more at his peak, but it's not that much more. And like, he scored 119 versus the St. George Illawarra Dragons. They put 60 points on the Dragons that day. He scored 151 against the Broncos. I think we're just worried about them 2 scores, but there's a good chance that they don't happen. There's a good
I'm not
chance.
saying he's a must-have and you have to do him, but I think if you're going to make one trade in that position in second row, Isaio's not going to be the difference between you going, oh, do you know what? No, I got him.
Yeah.
I had to do it. You know what I mean? He's not the guy.
Yeah, but
He's a good guy to have in your side all year. Just buy him, hold him there and plug there. But with 6 rounds to go...
upside, yeah. I agree. I do agree. I'm just trying to look at other avenues because to get Crichton...
I don't mind you looking at Curran from the point of view of it frees up. It's 50k less than Tapine, which is
so I have
100k less than
Haas. So I have 176k in the bank instead of 76k or 72k. But I just feel way more comfortable with Haas. And that issue, the Crichton issue, is something I can deal with later. I'll have 3 trades. If I use 2 trades now, I don't feel great with Curran, to be honest.
Yeah, especially with a little bit of that lingering injury from last week. Physio said, positive sides is he ran off the field. But it's still it's still there.
All right, let's move on to the tipping point. Last week, we've been changing it to 4 players, and we've been getting 2 and 2 every week. So,
was it 2-2?
Yeah, so I went...
I thought it was you 1-3-1. Okay, so...
Well, I went Cleary under 78.
Yeah.
I went McLean under 58. I went... Oh, wait, I did get 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I was gonna. That's what I thought I might bring to the conversation, considering I got like Cleary 100 points variance from where the line was. Can I drag a couple of those points into McLean or some of them? From
You can't do that. That's not how it works. So last week we did a tipping point in the Canoe Crew. I said Cleary under 78. You went Cleary over. He obviously beat that. I said McLean under 58. He scored 54 with a try. So I think I got lucky there. I said Jerome Hughes under 95. You went over. He scored under 95. He scored 60. And I said Turbo under 77. Turbo scored 45. So that's 3-1. Takes a tally to 13-6. You can still win. Yeah. Like just one perfect week. And the players we have this week, Cleary...
Could be 13-10 by next week, yeah.
All right, exactly. Cool. So Cleary, Haas, Holmes, Ponga.
Cleary, Ponga...
Cleary, Haas, Holmes, and Ponga. Let's start with... Let's go with Valentine Holmes first because he's the first game.
I hate the ones when you have an opinion on them. Right, you have an opinion on them, but you actually don't want them to go that well. So when it comes to, it's like on the weekend. I'm sitting here. I did not own Jerome Hughes. You do, and I was cheering him on. Go, come on, because I wanted the tipping point so bad. But for SuperCoach, it would have sucked for me.
Yeah,
and been good for you. But anyways, yeah. So it's awkward going on this one. But
I tend to, if I've got the player, I tend to try and go higher. No, I try and go higher.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean, yeah.
So Val Holmes, I'll set the line because I got him. 80.
Yeah, I'll go over 80 and go to 82.
I'll go over 82 and I'll go 97.
Trying to mind game you and you're mind gaming me back. All right. I'll go over 97 and go to 99.
I'll go over 99 and go 113.
Jeez. I like that. Jeez, that's aggressive. I really want to be... I kind of want to be on the overs, but I kind of don't want to be pushed too high. I'm just going to... I don't know how much further you're going to go. I'll take under 113. I feel like he's probably going to do better than that. But
just so you know, my limit was 118.
Okay.
All right, let's go Kalen Ponga. You can set the line because you'll be an owner next week.
Vita Pentos. Okay, let's set the line at 90.
I'll go over 90 and I'll go 103.
I'll go under 103.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I was thinking Cleary. No.
I was like, I actually was going to set the line at 60, but I was trying to play a mind game. So I thought if I set the line way higher than what I think it'll be, then
You got to
go
push me down.
Yeah. And then when you went straight overs, I was like, I feel like I was holding pocket aces and you just said all in. And I was like, what?
Oh my God.
That's mad. Oh, well, you have to take that, mate.
Yeah, I know. No, because you said it and I was looking at Cleary's name.
Oh, okay.
Oh no. I've messed up there.
You could still do it, but if he does, people will be rushing to buy him, won't they?
Actually, I'd probably prefer if he scores more because no one has him this week. And then he scores more, it costs more for people to get him in. Nathan Cleary. I'll go over 103 then.
I'll go... Oh, so you're setting the line and
yeah,
going
103.
Over? Yeah. Okay.
Since that was my original fucking...
Okay, I'm just doing a little bit of quick research. Won't be too long. Okay, so over 103. I'll go over 2. I'll go to 105.
I'll go 107.
It's about to do something then. 107. 7. Yeah, I'll go... Where is it? Did you say this is
Blue
a funny
bet.
one? Oh, okay. Oh, yep. Okay. I'll go over 110.
I'll go under 110.
I was gonna go under on my own, but I
All right. Sorry.
But yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I like it. I like the overs, but I just feel like maybe from last week it was such a big performance that comes back a bit, right?
I agree. I tend to hold off players who've just come off a massive one. Payne Haas, we're going to play this one a bit differently.
Okay.
We both pick an exact score. The closest to him gets the point. So we don't have to set the line. We don't have to play games with each other. If you get the exact score, then you get a bonus point.
No, you get 3 bonus points.
Okay,
for
good.
exact
Yeah.
score.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, how's it going to look on the images? You can work that out.
Yeah, I'll just say 84. Well,
Exactly. Confuse people.
yeah.
All right. So you're going to go 84, are you?
Yeah, 84. Playing the Titans.
Give me 88. I was going to go 90, but...
Oh, so what if he scores 86? That's like right in between us.
We'll run it straight next week. No, we won't run it straight. I'll get smashed.
No one gets a point if he
No
scores
points,
86. Yeah. And if he does, then we both get a pat on the back for that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Captains. Cleary.
Yeah, I'm going
Cleary Holmes for me.
I'm going to go Cleary, and I'll probably just go the same combo as last week as Teddy as my vice captain. I did see, so I think, Val Holmes is a mad one if you've got him.
Yep.
Other than that, I think there might have been one other juicy one that I thought about. No, I'll leave that there. I don't think I've got it.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Cool. Cool. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for dealing with last week's mess. But we're back. We're back in full flight. Remember, next week, August 10th, 2 p.m., Drink West. The event is going forward.
We'll be able to give a reminder next week on the podcast that it's the weekend coming. But put in your diary, spread the weekend.
Yes,
and make it free.
And the venue is capped at 120 people, so that you don't want to miss out. First in, best dressed. Cool. Cheers for tuning in. We'll see you next week.